Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and we are once again revisiting Elise. Now on the main channel, for some reason it's not spreading as fast as other videos, which makes me a little sad. We just did a how to close games early versus farming junglers, because farming junglers love to let you take high risk ganks. They love to let you try and make plays, maybe get laners a little bit ahead, but they're counter jungling you. They're taking dragons when you're on the wrong side, and then they're, outscaling you, and then you just lose the statistical team fights. Now, Elise is one of those champions that doesn't allow this and refuses to allow this purely because of her kit and what she wants to accomplish as a win condition. So we're going to look at that, how you can basically try and satisfy your own win conditions as a jungler while also dragging, literally, your team to victory. Early game, little late, slams the ward down in case of invades. We see here the set and the Kaiser. Runes on your screen now. PTA is the go-to instead of the Electrocute rune set. This is quite common in high elo for advanced Elise players. Gives you a bit more DPS. The proc from PTA is great. And normally you don't really need to go Night Harvester with it, but she chooses to do so. And we have a late invade here by the set, who flash engages as he likes to do. Exhaust is thrown out. And now in these situations, in Korea specifically, they like to play them, because if you actually get a kill here, if you actually get a bit of a lead, well, you're looking good. And in lower elos, what happens is they go for these plays, and you don't chase enough. Like, you can probably chase down and get a few kills. Now here you saw they chased quite far into the river before they realized they're not going to get anything. Make sure you're pushing as far as possible to get that first blood, but don't over-chase to the point that, you lose cadence in your timing, and the enemy jungler gets to come back and steal you up and whatnot. So, we can actually go ahead and take the Grump here. It's 140 long gone, and it gives us resources back so you can actually save your smite as well. Now you'll notice, because of this weird little invade, bot has a little bit of prio. However, what I'm fearful of is that the Zin's gonna go do his red and just come back, because the Tristana used her heal, and the Thresh had to use both his sums. So this is looking like prime time ganking city for the enemy jungler. Elise really is just stuck doing these. We can see on the minimap, Elise doesn't know it, but we can anticipate that that's the play that's going to happen. Set engages. Tristana flashes in without thinking about what I just said for some reason. And, yeah, that's a little unfortunate for the Elise. Now you see what I mean, right? Don't worry. This is okay. We can play around this. Not a problem whatsoever for an Elise. Whoa. Good champion. But he's fine. He's not overpowered at all. He's just got a nice kit for those level 2 ganks. Now, from Elise's perspective, again, we want to close early, we want to maintain control over the game, and it's quite common for people to say that support gap creates jungle gap, and to a degree this can be true, but it's very heavily influenced by the jungler, and you'll see what I mean. The jungler can create support gap by adjusting the timings of the bottom lane. We'll get into that in a minute or two when it actually happens. But here, nice read, we know he's bottom side. Set's gonna rotate, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay, look at this. So, what made this play? The jungler. The set can do this, right? Because his back timing and his journey back to the lane, the adventure of the rift, is different than his ADC. Let's hope she's not waiting for the BF sword like old days, but he is back on the map long before his ADC. So what did low elo supports do? Just go to bottom lane. Just sit there, 2v1, relax. But in high elo, no. I have map tempo advantage. I can make plays before the enemy is able to react to them. I know the Thresh is bottom lane. I know the Tristana is going to be right behind him. I know my ADCs and bases. No need for me to go to a pushed up lane, level 1. I can go make a play somewhere else. The blue team's jungler has created this support differential. And that's what happens when you gank bottom lane. You create these back timing gaps that allow supports to roam and impact the map like a second jungler. So don't always think as a jungler, oh no, bot lane, your set's rotating mid. Look, bot gap. No, the Xin made this play. He deserves credit for this. Now, Elise decides to take the crab, rotate for the cleanup. This is good, right? This is good jungling. We see the Xin now on the blue and the Grump over here. We saw this, which means she can easily go down to bottom crab. Here's where you could think differently about it. If we saw him here, right? So we as the blue team, right, the puppy slaps the ward down, and very briefly we'll see him move on up into the blue buff area. Right there, okay? And you see this. You see the movement. Okay? He also, what he does is, realizes that the crab is already gone. So Elise is cleaning up the gank right now. We see him move here as well. We saw this. Right? That's important. He moved across, as we're going down, he moved across the vision, didn't turn back into the vision to do the blue, so we know he's not doing the blue. And because he saw you go down to bottom crab, he's gonna just go beeline for your red buff. And that's the downside of deciding, hey, let me go for the bottom crab, because you're giving it up. Whereas if you simply did your red, you would have had the advantage of maybe going Raptor's bottom crab while he does his blue and Grom. So you kind of give him his red, and if he does this, we can expect him to go up to the Poppy. But no one, it was a very small second, no one really noticed it. But Elise can still rotate. Poppy's low. She's, well played. I think he still gets her, no. She lives. She lives. And now, Elise shows up, hits a max range cocoon, says here's a full combo. Just kidding, I'm gonna back out. He goes in anyway, does get full comboed. She's gonna have to repel here. Good. And if Akali overcommits, then you can form switch. And this is an important part about Elise. There you go, you see that? That's why Elise is not an entry-level champion. That has to be so automatic. And she TP's in, so good for us. Right, Krugs and then reset, I think, and then we need to fix the bottom lane. Alright, then we need to fix the bottom lane. Kali's back top lane, bot is doing its thing. We can probably assume that the Xin is gone back to do his blue side. And you know what? We weren't 100% sure because he could have easily done this and then directly reset. But because he's already been back to base and he has his own... and then you have the visual confirmation. So you know at this point after this he probably falls down to the blue side. But because he's already been back to base, you're unsure if he wants to keep sequencing, maybe reset for some more spendings. But because he shows here mid lane for visual confirm, you know exactly where he is, you know exactly what he's doing. So that's important as well. Right, he's just holding the wave. Look how generous this is. Let me save that for my mid laner. And Elise needs to say, right, I know where he is, I can make a play before he's able to react. And the important part is, because she's using her F keys, paying attention to the map, she sees that they're low, and can grab herself a bunch of solo kills. Now, way too often people play these champions, and you go to your Wolves, and you go to your Grom. There's a jungler mid laner. There's the jungle mid lane. He's already spent gold. There's a bunch of low HP bottom laners. Your bottom lane's in a rough position. Let's go help out, right? And now we can trap. See, the Elise is trapping. She's expecting the enemy jungler to show up here. She's protecting as they go back to base. And now, the threshold of prio to roam before the set. Or at the very least, be able to match it. And that's what most supports will do in this case. We hit that to see if there's any vision. We see set. Okay, because he died first. So this time, yes, the set could have easily gone to gank again. But there's a wave here, so he wants to deal with that. The Thresh, however, in this situation, because he's now a level up, can actually counter gank and react to the play on the map, as opposed to being stuck bottom lane. Elise falls down, takes the Grom. That's good, secure. Now we can make sure we take our Wolves, also second spawn. And then you see here, this guy, he's now got his Balmy Cinder. Tanks in, and the Thresh is primed for the counter gank and the positioning, because we know their bottom side. So, blue team's gank created set roam, red team's gank created Thresh roam. Nothing happens, he's just there. And the thing is... Why? Okay, so... I hope that isn't his birthday, because at that point in time I was 15 years old. But I feel comfortable saying if that is his birthday, then it does look like he was born yesterday, basically. In comparison to me, of course. That was a silly roam. There's no need for this. Now you can steal the red buff. You can hippity-hoppity over the wall. And then, of course, you can dive. I just wanted to get the setup, because people always say in low elo, my laners don't know what they're doing. I mean, why do you need your laners to know what they're doing in this situation? You are a full-blown dive kit by yourself. Just hit your cocoon, your full combo, and know how to use your repel. You don't need your laners for this, right? And now we've created bot diff again so that we can actually secure dragons if we wanted. Blue buff would be nice first. Enemy jungler's top side. Okay, we're not really focusing on his game plan here. He's just running about kind of weirdly. But if he shows top lane, enjoy yourself a dragon. Nice, fresh, juicy, fresh drake. mean, there he is again. I mean, that's fine, right? I mean, he's doing a good job getting kills, but the Elise's map reads are significantly more sharp and significantly more, what's the word, smooth, I guess? Oh, I don't know if she needed to flash, but maybe she did. That was nice. Either way, we take it. And that's a great gank as well. You know, you gank this, it creates prior for this to steal this, you dive this because one is dead. That means you can drag in, and when they get back to lane, you gank it again. That's 3 ganks. And now you say, well, better bot wins. But yeah, but why? Because Elise was the better jungler. And jungle impact is so. We just have to understand that that's our role, right? I mean, blue team jungle, I mean, he's doing a good job. I mean, he's getting in the mid lane now, but which laners are the win conditions? And what are the jungle win conditions? Elise is still really fed. See, he kind of poked that, pushed this out. Bot now can roam, so they have to leave. If the blue team's bottom lane was pushing up, and the red team's bottom lane was on tower, they could look to 2v1 invade this, but it's kind of risky with TP illusion, Poppy roaming down. So the Elise can kind of relax now, but we really want to set our sights on, while there's a bit of downtime, looking at the map, what camps can we get, and then how do we get to the Herald? That's what we want. She's just actually going to sequence down here. Purely because the bot lane is kind of trapping, and she wish, I guess she just doesn't want them to have fun. I'm okay with that. You know, in bottom lane when I get perma-ganked, I really don't have a lot of fun. Well played. When the jungler does this to me, it is so annoying because really, when one bottom lane is so far ahead that they just win 2v2 automatically, there's not much you can do. You might be giving away an objective here, but doesn't look like he's in a position to capitalize. You can shadow this. I mean, he hasn't taken it yet, so... Ah, the TP on the minimap, Syndra, knowing she has TP advantage. There you go. Flashes the cocoon. Burns the ult. Lucian's moving down. Good reactions, thank you very much. And all of this is Elise. She's forcing the action down here, and it's nice. Careful. Don't lazy back. Never lazy back in this situation. I think I'll take that. They burned a lot. You know, as a jungler, I feel this. Your laners kind of want to go make plays, and you just want to take the grump and reset because you got 986 gold, you got Harvester completed, so... Be aware if your team goes in, so you can rotate if they do, but otherwise, keep your focus. Now here I think... I understand the need to continuously obliterate and bully the bottom lane. I get it. I get it. It's, you know, you're picking the lane to snowball, but this for me might be a really good play, just purely because if Thresh roams with you, you can secure it, you're in time for plates, Poppy's going to be joining you, she has TP, Lucian does have some full item completion advantage, even though he's 1-3-1, he still can be around the area. And if he's topside, which he technically should be if he's sequencing, and he was just dead there, I get it. I understand the need to gank and spank bottom lane repeatedly, but I think the Herald there is a good play for most of your elos, because it's a demoralization thing. This is great, right? This is great, like there's nothing wrong with this, but you're losing an objective over it. You don't really need it for the 2 plates here. I just think the Golden Fusion's pretty nice. And then of course you can flex mid lane, gank it, gank top lane, use the Herald, get plates before 14, and then you can reset and set up for Dragon with perfect timing, objective ping-ponging. Do pay attention to that. And you see now, because she goes bottom lane, she gives this up. She gives this up, so... Let's see what happens. I mean, it does hit. Poppy rotates, which is nice. Okay, so the lead that the Elise has helped accrue throughout the map is actually... She dies. She dies. A lot of shutdown gold going over, though, to Akali. Kind of scary. Yeah, I think here the nice play was this. You beat him 1v1 if you're really fed. Most jungle matchups, obviously. You have laner support. I think taking that, using it, and then flexing this, you have time to dive as well, would have been better. Mostly for your elos. And high elos, sometimes it's okay to give it up just to focus on another lane, but keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Right, dragon is up. Kai'Sa's bottom lane. Mid lane is occupied by the bottom lane. We started to swap around. The game state has been elevated. As always, I talk about in low elo. Please don't go and take towers too soon. People start moving around the map. No one knows how to move around the map. And it means you're not in position for dragons. It means you're not in position to make those fights. And it means that people just get caught out and killed. You know, like, the Poppy's not TPing to save your Lucian in your games. He's just dead. Because the game state was elevated and the lane assignments have been all mixed up. You know? In high elo, it's fine. And even then, they still hold long enough to get farmed enough so that these fights go in their favor. And they can get 2 dragons and start stacking them. Just keep that in mind as well. Now they're kind of grouping up and skirmishing, which is perfect. I mean, she's 8-1-4. The mid lane's 1-5-4. The top lane has done a good job, but it was mostly the Elise's counter gank early on, really changing the course of that lane. And bottom lane was just pure Elise. You know, spam ganking it. Yeah, what can I tell you? Gank bot. Because it sets up dragon, it sets up Herald, it sets up the subsequent dragons, etc. Now, no other objective on the map. Mid lane tower, top lane tower. Think she can probably afford to farm a sequence. You do need to make sure you fall back to farming during these downtimes. Because you could have just taken the red, like... And then if something happens... Hello? She dies, no? So, but yeah. You can sequence, if something happens, rotate and collapse, hold the towers. Don't farm and ignore your team in the map. Looking for the next Herald, looking for the next dragon. That's all we're basically doing. If we can make a pick, we make a pick. But we don't take unnecessary fights and we avoid our team getting picked with good vision control. Here we go. Lucian's still splitting top lane. Thresh is going to now zone, get some ward control just in case of any sneakiness. The Kai'Sa is kind of overpushed. The Elise is throwing out a Spiderling. Cocoon hits. And dead person. See? Blue team not abiding by these rules. They make, you know, they get to pick on the Lucian and then they make the same mistake. Thresh is a great champion. Super fun champion is Thresh. You get hooked, you die. Just end of story. And I play things like Zyra Senna. You know, I get hooked, I'm dead for the next 3 minutes. So, mechanic gap, I guess. You managed to get the top lane while you did that also. That's why that pick is so good. We have a Scuttle Crab. We have 2k in the bank. And we have a really high tier Grum spawn. Alright? And that's what's important here. You know, it's 17 minutes in. Right? It's 17 minutes in. You're level 11. Everyone else is around that. Which means it's a level 11 Grum. Huge. To make sure you're rinsing that edge camp. Because the experience buffs that got put back into it. Okay, see? Lucian splitting dies again. You know? We want to avoid this. But when that happens, please don't be doing these camps. Look at the Elise. 2 people top lane. You have 1 dead. You can shove a tower. You can shadow your laners. Exactly what she's doing. They don't know always where she is. Right? Because she's shadowing. She's just in the fog of war. Now you want to set this dragon. So deep vision control goes to this area of the map. You wait for your Lucian. He has no TP. He's going topside. So, in this case, yeah, ideally you make the pick. Ideally you win the fight. Just understand that if your laner is not as good as you, he might not be there. So if their whole team comes 5v4, it's okay to give it up and do something else. I don't like I'm not a fan of just kind of chilling. You know? I said we gotta set up the dragon. I mean, there's a wave here. If you have vision of them going back to base and you know Kali's top lane, I think in lower elos go make this pick. She's not going to be aware of it. Like, she should die for this, you know? By pushing that up, she should die for it. Look at this face check. She should be dead. You know? If you're playing a Rengar, if you're playing... Okay, Rengar Syndra, yeah. If you're playing an Evelyn or something like this, anything that can sort of kill the Syndra for the split push, do it. You know, fulfill the downtime. And then when the dragon's up, numbers advantage. Straight for the Drake. Doesn't show that they get it. I mean, they should get it, no? Kai'Sa set mid, yes, we got this. There you go, third dragon. Gank bot, get Drake control. Now again, next objective will be the Baron. So what you can do is take the few camps here, you can sequence up, reset, and then set up for the dragon. You can push this, get deep vision. That's how you would close it out. Alternatively, you can hang around and just kill her if no one else shows up. But basically now we're just looking for that pick or two just to give us the Baron. Oh, hello. And that's why it's important to be fed early, because you want to be able to make that play. So many people in coaching and so on. Nice cocoon. Nice flash and cocoon. PTA coming in really big. PTA coming in huge. That's why you like that room. That's why we like that room. And now, I love it. This is just like all your solo queue games. You wouldn't know this is a challenger game sometimes. Okay, mechanically, fine. but more about, hey, a dude got picked, everyone just goes in one by one. And this happens in your plat games, this happens in your diamond games, this happens in your silver games. So, also the Lucian just rage splitting. You know? I didn't get ganks, I'm angry. And he just goes and splits and dies 1,000 times. Doesn't mean you can't win the game. You know? Don't blame the Lucian for why you couldn't carry. And that's why all those early games, as I said in coaching, we need to make sure that they're pristine and smooth, because when you get to these situations and you need to make the pick, you want to be able to make the pick. Great. I don't think there's too much left here other than super closing out. So if you're interested in that, it doesn't look like anyone FFs. I have not watched this far. I just kind of skimmed the first 15 of every replay just to see if there's something of value we can bring. But I don't watch in depth and I don't go all the way just because I like to have fresh takes also. Kind of like almost commentating. I mean, why? You know, there's no need to be here. Your whole team is resetting. Bad. Bad Thresh. Gonna nerf you again. Actually, please do nerf Thresh again. I know he's getting nerfed again on Tuesday, but can we nerf Thresh and Heckroom again? That'd be great. Right? Yeah. Just shudder thinking about those champions. See, now they're just kind of chasing everyone around the map. You've got Baron push, you know, you've got wave clear, you've got damage. Careful here, don't die with them. Tristana's fed because of your ganking. Fine. Good. That's why you gank a lane so much, and that's why you get dragons. Statistical advantage from the dragons. Gold advantage from the gangs. Experience advantage from all the objectives. And in those situations, you can turn them, and then you can push towers. And this guy is he's just rage splitting the whole game. He has no concerns. And now you have Baron, so you should be able to inhib. But yeah, actually, that's a little overzealous of me. Pay attention to the back timings. Yeah, I mean, respawn timings. Once they're spawned again, they have home guards. They're gonna be able to get you quickly. You have 2 people dead because Lucian died again. So it's actually better just to leave even with Baron. And Syndra shows up. Sorry. Just for clarification. I'm usually in-game, I'm very much a tower and out. And then people overstay for inhibitors and they die. And now there's a dragon and you have to give it up. And because you give up the dragon, you don't have Baron set up. And it cascades into you throwing. So don't get overzealous. Make sure you make the right decisions. And if they decide to overcommit, use your gold lead. Nice on the back line. Good repel. Nice cocoon onto the Kai'Sa. That means she's dead. I love PTA amp damage. Triple kill. And I hope that gives us a GG. No need to push the inhibitor. You probably can do that with Divine Sunderer. And her Tiamat. We can do the dragon for soul. Juicy, juicy, as Gollum would say. And now you can reset. We have now the core itemization necessary to survive this game. Void Stuff for giga damage. Banshee's Veil for giga survivability. And Stopwatch to irritate assassins everywhere. Tristana doing good things. See, now this is good. Stand in front of your ADC. You've got the Banshee's Veil. There we go. We hit the cocoon when he engages. Now you gotta be careful. You can use your repel for positioning. But I don't think we necessarily want to die. Zhonya is, as I said, just protecting the backline ADC that you decided to feed. Cocoon goes sideways squinty, but there you go. There you go. I don't think there's much more value in this. I guess the objective rotations are completed. You've got Baron spawning, you've got Elder Dragon spawning, and you're just so far ahead that as long as you play team fights correctly, you will win every single one of them. If you miss spells, if you're out of position, if you focus around target, that's on you. Take responsibility. Just make sure you are with your team and able to do such things that most enemy junglers would consider unnatural. And I think that'll be GG. Nice try, Set. The nice thing is you scale pretty well as well with this build. Gives you good split pushing, bit more teamfight ability as well. There you go. So hopefully you're able to actually enjoy that early game nuance, a little bit of back and forward. Hopefully you understand why she decided to spam gank bottom lane and the advantages it gave her. I do think you need to look for that Herald a little bit more as well. Don't let level 1 invades tilt you. Make sure you close out with good macro. Don't overcommit. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did like it. Head to the main channel also, coaching below. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. I don't like spiders though.